Hello everyone, you are welcome to my channel. In today's video we shall be continuing the introduction to Python series, and we shall be looking at the Python if-else statements. So the if-else statements actually support the logical conditions that are from mathematics, the usual logical conditions, where you are trying to compare two values together. Take for instance the equal sign. Okay, you have the less than, you have the greater than, you have the less than or equal sign, and then you have the greater than or equal sign. Finally you have not equal sign. Okay, so the Python if statements works together with these signs in order to compare values together. So let's delve into the practical aspect. So if let's say we have a variable a which has the value of 33 and a variable b which has the value of 200. Now let's run the if statement. So if b is greater than a, okay, it should print b is greater than a. And then when we run this, so you can see that the condition is true. So if prints out an output if that condition is true. So a is 33, b is 200, and of course b is greater than a, so that means this condition is true, and then this is the output that will be printed out. Now let's bring this down to this cell. Now we want to run another statement. Okay, there are certain times when the conditions, okay, the particular condition might not be true for the first one. So there is another statement that is called the elif statement. Okay, the elif statement. Now in working with the elif statement, I will need to change this to 33. So if b is greater than a, okay, it should print b is greater than a. Okay, and then if, okay, a is the same thing as b, it should print a and b are equal. Let's run this. It is going to be printed out. Can you see? So a and b are equal. So if this particular condition is not true, it will not print this out, and then it will go to the next condition with the elif statement and check, is this condition true? If it is true, it will print out the statement you have specified here. So that is what Python did, and you can see a and b are equal. Now before we proceed, I want you to take note of something. So you can see that when I clicked the enter button, okay, the enter keyboard button, there is a space here. This space is called the indentation. Okay, it's called indentation. So this space is very necessary if you are working with the if statement. So let's bring this down and let's try to run the if statement without let's try to run this down and run it without the indentation. Okay, so it is going to raise an error. can you see? Okay, sorry, okay, so you can see the error, indentation error. So that means an indented block was expected after this if statement. Okay, so because an indented block was expected and it was not given, okay, it was not done, then it had to raise the error. So if you see this arrow sign, the arrow down here, okay, the arrow up here, it is pointing towards the P to show you that that is where the error is. So in order to do that, you simply use the tab keyboard, tab key, and then you run this. You can see it has gone. So you have to take note of this indentation when working with if statement. So continuing, there are times when the two conditions, okay, are not met, okay, and then also sometimes they may be met, but you know, it is necessary for other aspects that we are not really taking note of in the two conditions to be taken note of in the third one. Now you can only do that using the else statement, the else statement. So let's bring this down. Let me show you what it means, the else statement. Now let's do 100. Okay, we are running this. So if A or if B is greater than A, okay, print is greater than A, okay, and then we can say elif B is same as A, print A and B are equal, else. Okay, can you see? So else we catch any other thing that was missing out in is greater than B. So this condition was not met. Okay, B is not greater than A. It checked it, and Python checked and discovered, okay, this condition is not true. It went to the next statement. It checked, is B the same as A? Okay, so you can see that the condition is not true, and then since these two conditions are not true, then that means it has no option than to print anything that is specified there, and of course A is greater than B. So that is how the if statement works. Now there are times when you want to use the shorthand form. Okay, so in using the shorthand form, you will say you know, all of these are in multiple lines, but the shorthand makes it to be easier. It makes it to your conditions to be set in one line. So if A is greater than B, okay, print A is greater than B. Okay, so we have run that, so you can see, so this is in one line compared to this. Okay, so that is how you can be able to, and also you can use the shorthand form with the if-else statement. So let's bring this also down, and then instead of 200, so let's say we have 2 here. Okay, now you can quickly run something like, you can say print A if A is greater than B, else print b. So, and of course if a is greater than b, so since if a is greater than b, it should print a. So since a is not greater than b, it is going to print b. So let's run that. You can see it has printed b. So this was without the else statement. Now this is with the else statement. So these are the ways you can be able to do it. Let's go into more complex one. We'll say let's bring this down, and then we make this to be 33. So we are printing print a. Okay, if a is greater than b, else print the equal sign if a is the same as b, else. So if you run this, so let's see it together. So a is greater than b. Python will check, is it true? Of course no, so it will not print a. It will check again, print this if a is same as b, and of course a is same as b, so it is going to print the equal sign, else it should print b. So if you run this, so you can see that the equal sign is printed out. Now the Python if statement works with the and the or statement. So when you are combining conditional statements together, you use the and, okay, and the or. The and produces an output if the two conditions are true. Okay, so let's bring this down again, and then we change this to 200. Develop another value, c equals 500. So we say if a is greater than b and c is greater than a, it should print, okay, it should print for us both conditions are true. Okay, so let's check it together. So a is greater than b, a 200 is greater than b, okay, the condition is true. C is greater than a, c is 500 is greater than a, okay, so the condition is true. So since this condition and these conditions are true, the output to be printed. So the and statement combines the two conditions, and the two of them must be true in order for the statements you type in here to be printed out. It must be true. So let's bring this down again, and then we say we want to use the if statement, I mean the or statement. So if a is greater than b, or a is greater than c, print okay. So now let's check it together. A is greater than b, a is greater than b, okay, that condition is true. And then a is greater than c, this condition is not true. So the or combines the both statement, but it produces the output if one condition is true. So let's run this. Now in Python there's what we call the nested if. Nested if is the if statement inside another if. Okay, the if statement inside another if. So let's say x equals 41. Okay, nested if. Let me just quickly take nested if. Okay, so if so we say x equals 41. So if x is greater than 10, okay, you should print, if x is greater than 10, you should print above 10. Okay, now if x is greater than 20, you should print above and above 20. Okay, so you will notice here that this if statement did not begin from this line, from this point. Okay, so there is an indentation here also. So this indentation that is here makes this particular if to be inside this if statement. So that is how the nested if works. Okay, so we say else, okay, that's not above 20. So x is 41. Now x is greater than 10, the condition is true. X is greater than 20, the condition is also true. So it is going to print above 10 and above 20. So when we run that, okay, you can see an above 20. There are times when you put in you run an if statement, but you did not print out any statement. You know, those times can actually come for some reason. You can see, you can have a equals 33, okay, and then b equal 200. Okay, if for instance you say a is greater than b. Okay, now normally you are supposed to print a statement, right? But for some reasons you do not want to print a statement. In order for this particular cell not to raise an error, you use the pass, and when you run this, you see there will be no error. Okay, so Python is going to pass this comparison by. But if you do not, okay, you do not specify the pass statement and you simply run this, you can see it is going to produce an error, incomplete input. So in order for it not to produce an error, you simply use the pass statement. So that is all that we have for the Python if else statements. I hope you have been able to learn something new today. So until I see you next time, bye for now.